Hello, my friends. Mrs. Short here to read you a book that has been around for a long time. It's been around since I was a little girl, and that's a long time ago. This book is called Corduroy, and it is written by Don Freeman. And he dedicates it to Sally Elizabeth Kildow and Patrick Stephen Duff Kildow, who know how a bear feels about buttons. Now, there's many reasons I'm reading this book. It's a great book. It's a classic, meaning it's been around for a while, and it's a really good book. But also, I'm dedicating it to my neighbor, Reagan, because poor Reagan broke her leg. And that's no fun to do right before the summer. So I know that this is one of her favorite books. You know who told me? Her wonderful brother. So this is for you, Reagan. I hope you enjoy it. I will show the pictures after I read the words. Maybe I can do this. Well, you can't see too much, but I'll do the best I can. Corduroy is a bear who once lived in the toy department of a big store. Day after day, he waited with all the other animals and dolls for somebody to come along and take him home. I hope you could see that because I didn't really pay attention to that. The store was always filled with shoppers buying all sorts of things, but no one ever seemed to want a small bear in green overalls. Then one morning, a little girl stopped by and looked straight into Corduroy's bright eyes. "Oh, Mommy," she cried, "look, there's the very bear I've always wanted." "Not today, dear," her mother sighed. "I've spent too much already. Besides, he doesn't look new. He's lost the button to one of his shoulder straps." Corduroy watched them sadly as they walked away. "I didn't know I'd lost a button," he said to himself. "Tonight I'll go and see if I can find it." Late that evening, when all the shoppers had gone and the doors were shut and locked, Corduroy climbed carefully down from his shelf and began searching everywhere on the floor for his lost button. Will Mrs. Short ever get that right? The way she holds the book. Suddenly, he felt the floor moving under him. Quite by accident, he had stepped onto an escalator and up he went. Could this be a mountain? He wondered. I think I've always wanted to climb a mountain. He stepped off the escalator as it reached the next floor, and there before his eyes was the most amazing sight. Tables and chairs and lamps and sofas and rows of beds. This must be a palace, Corduroy gasped. That means he went, I guess I've always wanted to live in a palace. He wandered around admiring the furniture. This must be a bed, he said. I've always wanted to sleep in a bed. And he crawled up onto a large, thick mattress. All at once he saw something small and round. What do you think? Why, here's my button, he cried, and he tried to pick it up, but like all the other buttons on the mattresses, it was tied down tight. Mrs. Short needs to do her nails. Sorry about that. Polish them more. He yanked and pulled with both paws until pop! Off came the button, and off came the mattress. Corduroy toppled, bang, onto a tall floor lamp, and over it fell with a crash. Poor Corduroy. Corduroy didn't know it, but there was someone else awake in the store. The night watchman was going his rounds on the floor above. When he heard the crash, he came dashing down the escalator. Now, who in the world did that? He said. Somebody must be hiding around here. He flashed his light under and over sofas and beds until he came to the biggest bed of all, and there he saw two fuzzy brown ears sticking up from under the cover. I just have to show you that. How cute are those fuzzy brown ears sticking up from under the covers? Hello, he said. How'd you get upstairs? The watchman tucked Corduroy under his arm and carried him down the escalator and set him on the shelf in the toy department with the other animals and dolls. Corduroy was just waking up when the first customers came into the store in the morning. And there, looking at him with a wide, warm smile, was the same little girl he'd seen a few days before. I'm Lisa, she said, and you're going to be my very own bear. Last night I counted what I've saved in my piggy bank, and my mother said I could bring you home. Shall I put him in a box for you? The saleslady asked. Oh, no, thank you, Lisa answered, and she carried Corduroy home in her arms. She ran all the way up 4 flights of stairs into her family's apartment and straight to her own room. Like my eyes peeking over that? Corduroy blinked. There was a chair and a chest of drawers, and alongside a girl-sized bed stood a little bed, just the right size for him. The room was small, nothing like that enormous palace in the department store. This must be home, he said. I know. I've always wanted a home. Lisa sat down with Corduroy on her lap. What do you think she did, boys and girls? She began to sew a button on his overalls. I like you the way you are, she said, but you'll be more comfortable with your shoulder strap fastened. That means sewn on and nice and sturdy so that it doesn't fall off again. You must be a friend, said Corduroy. I've always wanted a friend. Me too, said Lisa. She gave him a big hug. Isn't that not just the sweetest story? She didn't care that he was missing a button. She didn't care that he didn't look perfect. She counted her money. Her mom said it was okay. She took him home and she sewed another button on. And that's the story of Corduroy. I hope all my friends enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it, Reagan. I know you've heard it lots of times, so maybe you read some of it with me. All right, Reagan and all my other friends, have a great day. We'll see you next time. Bye.